Good evening and happy Thanksgiving if you're in the United States. Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5, Episode 7, Fully Dilated, is over. But we're just getting started here on Live Long and Podcast, a live stream here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and audio version. I'm Dave Mader, and I'm joined once again with Justin Velociraptor himself, the Dino Boy. How are you doing, Justin?
Not too bad, Captain. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm all right. You know, we're back at her for another episode of Lower Decks, and to
a very purple episode.
A very purple episode to analyze this completely, and eventually we'll give it a rating. So in this episode, there's kind of a you call it a ladies' trip, I suppose, girls' trip to a time-dilated world. There's a B plot, if you can call that with Boimler and Rutherford trying to clean up shrimp cocktail off of a transporter console and all that. But yeah, this episode was an interesting one. Kind of a few different concepts. When I heard "Fully Dilated" as the title of this episode, I had theorized that it might be have something to do with Tendy's sister. Maybe she was going to have giving birth. But no, it's a time dilation instead.
Yeah, it's a time dilation joke.
Yeah, so a little bit off with my prediction there. But, we're going to break that all down. If you have a comment or a question about the episode while we're still live, throw it out there to us, and we'll try to analyze it or address it as best we can. We like to just kind of run through what we saw in the episode. So let's just break down the plot and put all that in there. Oh. Sam saying he loves this episode. Okay, thank you, Sam.
I'm with Sam on this one.
Appreciate that, Sam. All right, well, let's get into it. So we see that the Cerritos... Well, first we start on just empty space. We see the Cerritos then warp in a moment or so later as they've come upon another one of these time fissures, these portals in space-time continuum into another dimension. That they've been closing them up. Intergalactic potholes, I think they've been described as in previous episodes.
It's almost like they're setting something up there, Dave.
Could be. We see here that Captain Freeman, he's explaining that there was another version of the Enterprise D that was in everything in that universe is a little bit more purple. It just has a purple hue to it. So, okay, sure. Why not? So, and I think that it's also described to us that there was a bunch of Tasha Yar clones or something.
They were fighting off some Tasha Yar clones or something. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, and neither was Captain Freeman. But she's like, I don't know. It's all over now. So that's dealt with. Meanwhile, the whole premise of the plot, is kind of set up right here, where Captain Freeman comes by, of course, Lieutenant Junior Grade Tendi and Lieutenant Junior Grade Provisional T'Lyn, to talk about. You guys look great in front of the science station. Maybe we're going to get our chief science officer soon. And, that you're both, in contention for it. I think maybe that's revealed a moment here later where, Tendy's assuming that she'll be a pick for the job for the senior scientist officer. But T'Lyn has also applied for the role. and there's a bit of awkwardness set up
The
here.
eyebrow raise in the background there.
Yeah. A lot of like cringe kind of smiles and passive aggressive looks and worried things. Tendi then goes to talk to Rutherford, who, by the way, is now, I guess, starting to grow a beard to match.
I will be referring to him as Stubbleford for the rest of this episode.
Oh, I like it. I guess he's embracing the Boimler philosophy of that the alternate universe had more going for it potentially. Even though Otherford from that universe didn't have a beard, but I guess he's trying to be more like the Boimler of that universe than his counterpart. Tendy's worried. Do you think that T'Lyn is actually trying to compete with me? But Rutherford says no. It's probably just Vulcans not thinking about people's feelings or anything like that. So, which turns out to be kind of accurate. But Tendy's worried. Tendy, having that competitiveness, being an Orion who had to, we know was competitive with her sister at least. Has that sort of in her, I think, always. Then we come over to Boimler, who reports that the Fisher is doing maybe that some stuff from the Enterprise D was left behind on the planet. And we need to go, check that out and collect any kind of tech that was left there.
The Purple D left them a present.
The Purple D left them a present. Got to send an away team down. And Shax says, come on, it's Taquito night. Well, Freeman says, hey, let's send the lieutenants instead. I guess the lieutenant junior grades more specifically. Mariner was looking forward to Taquito night. And yes, you could replicate it later, but she likes to be there for the fun of it.
For all the singing and the dancing.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the premise of the episode and our teaser as we head into our title card of Fully Dilated. We see the planet in question that they're going to be visiting. And the first step is, because this is a pre-warp civilization, they need to go into the good old cosmetic surgery to get the redo there. Dr. Tiana, this is not what she went to medical school for.
Stupid undercover plastic surgery jobs. I didn't go to Starfleet Medical for a costume party. I'm a doctor, not whatever the this is.
Love the Bones reference.
Yeah, not whatever the F this is, she says. But that's often what the doctors are called upon to do in Starfleet, is to make you look like a different kind of alien. We see here that Mariner's already gone through the procedure and has opted for a different skin tone than T'Lyn and Tendi did, all this being broken down as she's getting her horns added in here. Mariner's excited for this trip, and she's a little bit oblivious to the conflict or competition or whatever between T'Lyn and Tendi here. Also that T'Lyn mentions that her smell receptors are not very strong, they are too strong. And Vulcans do have a strong sense of smell, and because this is a pre-warp civilization, without plumbing and other sanitation things, it's going to smell a lot. So she would appreciate having her nostrils cauterized, and she does go with that offer. Meanwhile, up in the transporter room, Rutherford and Boimler having their shrimp cocktails. Oh man, this looks so gross to me. I'm not a fan of tomato juice, Justin.
This is I looked this up. This is Clamato, beer, lime juice, Maggi seasoning, Worcestershire sauce, and hot sauce. That's the traditional Mexican cocktail recipe, according to this website that I just.
That's what this drink is called, a Mexican cocktail.
It is a michelada.
Michelada. Well,
I've never heard of it.
It would not appeal to me, but I don't like any kind of Caesar or Bloody Mary or anything of the sort. So, Boimler and Rutherford, I guess because the other Boimler must like this drink, they're going for it. The lady's less impressed with this whole debacle.
I'd like to point out that all of the decorations there are technically an example of Chekhov's phaser.
Well, thank you for pointing that out. Is the surgery easily removable? we're always led to believe so, Sam, that there's getting this sort of undone. Going back to that, I guess that first episode I guess it's the Enterprise incident in the original series where Kirk gets the Romulan eyebrows and ears, and everything else. Oh, hello.
Hey, there's our Commander Davan.
What's up?
I wasn't sure if you were making it.
Well, it takes a long time to get here from Snarlo.
Well, we're pretty early in the episode here. Do you enjoy a whatever this is called?
A michelada?
A michelada, a shrimp cocktail as a pescatarian, Davan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not much of a shrimp guy myself, or shellfish, really. But, you've got all of your daily vitamins and minerals right there in that glass, or stuck into it.
Like pretty much a full meal.
Yeah, so go for it.
Except if
you're going to tie one on, you might as well be healthy about it.
But not in the transporter room.
No.
See, it's regulations.
Especially when you're beaming someone to a time dilation planet, it's just really sloppy. Sloppy work.
Don't top your
Rutherford, I expect better from. Boimler, I don't know. No, you know what, Boimler, you should know better too.
Well, Rutherford's embracing the Boimler philosophy. He's even trying to grow a beard to copy Boimler because he's all in on this new Boimler philosophy by copying the other Boimler.
Your beard's coming in pretty good there, Dave. You must get a lot of compliments on it.
On?
Your beard.
Oh, well, not as many. Not since it's been here for a while, but sometimes I do. I haven't been rocking the beard as long as you. Anyway, so they're all getting ready to. There's kind of some dialogue here, just mostly about you wish you were coming on this crazy away team mission. We find out that this is time dilation. I think what was the Voyager episode? Does anyone remember with Daniel Day Kim where the planet it was 10 seconds up for Voyager was a year down on the planet.
The episode name, but yeah, I do remember that episode.
The episode name was Dilated.
Dilated.
Oh. So this is fully
dilated.
Fully dilated. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think it's 1 second on the Cerritos is an hour on the planet, or even a month, isn't it? Isn't it a month?
1 second is a month or a week or something.
A week, maybe. Yeah, it's a long time. So we see that they have this little pendant that is meant to blink, give them a little warning to be ready for the transporter so that no one sees the transporter. No prime directive contamination can happen here. And, Boimler says, for us, you're going to be gone for less than a second. For them, it's going to be hours and hours. So they say, good luck, and weeks. Yeah, we'll see you in a second, basically. As they start the transporter process.
I think he says 1 second is a week.
1 second, I think so. Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah,
yes.
It's good. It goes by because they'll end up spending an entire year there. So whatever the math works out there, maybe it was only a minute, I guess, off for them, right?
Yeah.
That took them to clean up everything. But as the beam out begins, we see here that right then Boimler, he gets a bit of that stuff in his eye. He spills the whole drink all over the console, and this is the beginning of the catastrophe. I think Rutherford also spills his drink, and
Chekhov's phaser fires.
Yeah, and the shock and everything else breaks in here as Rutherford and Boimler don't know what to do. Meanwhile, in time dilation form, Mariner, Tendi, and T'Lyn are materializing as they look for the wreckage from the other Enterprise, the purple Enterprise D.
I love me some purple and green. This is a beautiful planet.
There you go. They head through the town of this planet, which is I don't know, kind of maybe a 19th century level of technology, or maybe a little less. We see Tendi's, doing all of her scientific analysis here. But then we meet, what's his name? Snell. He's one of these lurkers. He's one of these suspicious planet natives who is always, causing problems for the away teams when they're trying to be undercover. Someone is always a little too suspicious.
Hey, now he's just an honest businessman trying to sell 2 tickets for 1 globber.
Yeah. Can I sell you something? Oh, we're all out of globbers.
Morty moment.
No globbers here.
Yeah,
He's
don't
like,
go
out of globbers.
straight out of
He's like,
out of globbers, are they? Well, now I'm
Globbers.
suspicious. Yes.
Yeah, it's like, why? Is everybody like got a lot of money in this town or something? Like,
Well, I guess
he's like, what? You have no money?
they have all the globbers. They will find this. Well, first they see this house, but and will end up living in. But it's abandoned right now. And then they find, I guess, this crater where this wreckage has come down to. They start just, I guess, vaporizing everything with their phasers, just so they don't have to transport it out of here.
No one stumbles onto any cool stuff.
No cool. Well, they do. They will, but but I always wonder about vaporizing stuff like metal and whatever. Doesn't that become like inhalable once it's vapor?
You'd think so.
They have Starfleet medicine. The
Yeah.
transporter will
No
filter
one
it out.
cares.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they're vanquishing all of these parts, but until under all those wreckage, they will find what is it? Data's head. Well, purple
Data's head.
Purple Data, more specifically.
So it does seem Purple Data and Data live the exact same life,
Just
until
slightly
this
more
moment.
purple.
Just a little
Although-
more purple.
Remember, this is the year 2382 for like Mariner and them, and at this point, their version of Data is dead. He died 3 years ago in Star
So
Trek
this is a
Nemesis.
Time and space displaced Data.
Yeah, I guess
just
it
like
is,
the
because-
first,
yeah.
Cerritos.
Because the Enterprise D has been out of commission at this point for almost 10 years. So it's like time and space, or the Enterprise E didn't come along as
But
quickly.
like Purple Data experienced time zero, exactly as we
Yes.
remember it.
Yes.
So they definitely did a lot of the same, like strangely the same things. Like that's a weird one. Like it's odd that two multiversal datas would do time zero, but hey,
You have to have a few things, but they're fighting a whole bunch of Tasha clones, so they have some differences.
Time Zero is a nexus moment for Data.
Snell's back to be all suspicious. What do you got there? What are you hiding behind your back? He wants to know. And T'Lyn says, "Well, it is rocks. Let me show you. I am a juggler." As she pulls this out and starts juggling.
clearly algorithmic throwing or whatever she called it.
Right. Apparently, she's never tried before. Very impressive.
T'Lyn's great in this episode, but T'Lyn's
Oh, I
always
love
great.
me. The amount of T'Lyn in this episode was amazing.
Yeah, T'Lyn is also one of my favorite characters in this whole group. I don't know. She's just, we've talked about it many times, but, it was interesting to pit her against Tendi, who's usually so friendly with everybody. Tendi doesn't usually get competitive like this, so it was a bit of a different story for her.
Well,
really
she's
see
an
her,
Orion. She hides her
I was going to say, we see
competitive
her
side.
Orion side come out of it in this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Being more
When she's
She
back on the
always
home world,
stabs
she's
T'Lyn in
plenty
her sleep.
competitive.
true. And that's she wants to. They both want to be the chief science officer. Of course, their beam out never comes, or well, it will eventually come, but it's going to be a while. When they think it's going to happen, it doesn't. So they end up just kind of having to, I don't know, sit around. I think Mariner eventually gives up. And back on the Cerritos, we see here that nothing's really changed. They're still trying to figure out how to clean this up. They start taking off their uniforms and trying to mop it all
I'm a little
up.
disappointed in Rutherford. He's an engineer. He should have came up with a better idea of how to clean this up, I think.
Yeah, like you think you'd just be able to use a different console or something, but
Phaser vapor it.
yeah,
Maybe that wasn't their first Michelada.
so it's already 4 months later now that they've been hanging out down on this planet. And I guess they moved into this house that didn't have anybody living in them. Mariner is somewhat bored as Tendi comes back with a whole bunch of different plants and different things. She's cataloging for science, and she's still, dedicated to becoming this science officer role. I'm trying to remember this. Yeah, Mariner's saying, "Oh, I got to be like Picard and in like the inner light," and she starts on that little tangent. Then T'Lyn comes back. She's kind of figured out a way to make the grain more productive or more high yield or something like that. With T'Lyn just always figuring out new things. Very smart.
Within the
And-
Prime Directive, might I add.
within the Prime Directive, she's also doing that. And then, of course, Snell. He's always sneaking around. What are you up to, you people? Mariner's completely. I don't know. She never gives Snell too much of the time of day. She's always like, you're Snell. You're always being a pesty McPest, and everything else. She shoos him away with a broom. To call him a villain. Well, he kind of is the villain of the episode, but he's perhaps
But he's so cartoonish. Like you just expect him to try to tie one of them to the railroad tracks and twirl a mustache.
Yeah. Even later on, he'll tie them up, and it looks very much like you would tie somebody up in that fashion, right?
Very much.
So then we see here that Tendi is now trying to figure out a way, to do something different. So she's finding a way to bring this Data head back to life. She doesn't have any modern technology, but she can hook up a little hand crank here, create a little bit of electricity and hook it up into Data's head. Apparently this can bring him back here. And then of course we get Brent Spiner, doing the voice here of Data. Pretty cool.
Purple Data Frankenstein moment.
A purple Data Frankenstein moment. Brent Spiner giving the voice, and we have our, this dynamic here with Tendi and Data, although an alternate Data, but still, as they're getting to know each other. Of course, they can't shake hands because he doesn't, have a body. And talking all about that. He's like, are you in Starfleet? Where is your uniform? I'm like, good call, Data. There's no uniform.
I love how it's classic emotion chip Data speak to his vocabulary. No contractions.
Right.
He's very much the curious child from the first couple seasons.
Yeah, so he must either his universe is just they haven't the events are different, or they're from a different, they're from the past, they're from the TNG years more specifically as well. And yeah, they start forming the little friendship. I think we see here Snell up in the tree snooping on him always. He's gonna get you, and you're a little dog too. You meddling kids. I think, eventually Tendi kind of explains that she's trying to become the science officer on the Cerritos, and that, she's one of the only Orions to ever try to become a science officer. Although there have been other Orions in Starfleet, that's the more specific thing. And Data, comes to be sympathetic to that cause. And, he's like, I was the first one to do something too. I was like the first android in Starfleet, more specifically. So he agrees to help teach her science and make her better at this, so she can succeed. Meanwhile, Mariner's on her quest to become like the inner light and learn to play a flute and maybe get married or something. Is kind of what she's after here. She heads to the bar. She says, okay, I just need some lovable oaf to be my best friend, and then we'll go from there. So she tries to become friends with this guy at the bar. Will end up poking his eye with her little antenna horn thing, and which apparently is a very big faux pas in this world. And it's all of that. So
she's not doing a great job in blending in on this episode.
I guess more than a faux pas, it's like straight up a crime, I guess, as they throw her in here, for 2 months? She gets 2 months for this accidental eye poke? Yeah. So they don't fool around here with their horns in this world.
She horned him right in the eye.
She horned him. Whether it was deliberate or not, there's no mitigating circumstances here.
We're gonna be joined by a sad teething baby.
Well,
poor baby.
Just suck on your sucky there. It will help, but not. The teeth have to rip through the flesh.
Oh man, she's got extra thick gums too.
Oh yeah.
Man, isn't it something how T'Lyn is just popping off in this episode though, huh? just popping
She's
right
really
off
the hook.
She's off the chain.
Absolutely.
That's what got her kicked out. That's got her banished to Starfleet in the first place. Popping off like that.
Yeah, she
doesn't learn her lesson.
Yeah, she mouths off all the time.
Which she admits, she's just like, I haven't reconciled my past. She hasn't figured it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Boimler and Rutherford, this just kept getting messier and messier. I guess this is all meant to happen in less than a minute, but as we keep coming back to it, it's just like.
Well, let me do the math. Did we crunch the numbers yet on that?
No, not quite. But we know that they spend a year down there.
Oh yeah, a week. So yeah, they were down there for like 52 seconds.
Right. This is all 50.
No,
so they try to lick it off the console, and I don't know. Like this starts getting gross.
The
but
little shocks, like when you're touching your tongue to the tip of a 9-volt battery.
Yeah, guess that's how it works.
But anybody else not do that? No.
If it's enough liquid and such to malfunction the console, like why does it work as soon as they clean it off? Like,
I guess
they need to fix it.
It's kind of like when your iPhone is wet and it doesn't quite work, or
so they just needed to put it in a bag of rice or something.
Not even like when you like if you drop your phone in the water. More just like when there's like if your touch screen is wet, sometimes like the connection won't work,
like
right?
Rain, it gets rained on or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I felt like that's what this was meant to be. Again, like this is usually transferable to any console nearby. Any console can be adaptable to whatever. But I don't know. This is why this has to happen. Because they let Rutherford in. They don't even try to call the bridge. They're like, no, we're just going to try to lick this off as quickly as we can.
We're just going to leave the away team down there for a year.
Tell anybody. Clearly learning so much from that red pad.
Exactly. They're killing it now. They're trying to rock those drinks. We see here more Tendi and Data, purple Data, more specifically. Talking and getting to know each other. But then
what color's your Enterprise? Well, just like neutral, no color really. It's like, and purple was right there.
Purple was, but everything in their universe is purple. So isn't that just the way?
That's neutral over there. Yeah.
Tendi hides Data from T'Lyn as she comes by. T'Lyn's like, I am now growing all of this food. Would you like to come with me to the market? And
I love that T'Lyn's a veggie gardener like myself now. I just love T'Lyn. She's great.
Well, yeah, T'Lyn's got the big grapes here, or what does she call these? I think she refers to them as
Sploot fruit or something.
Schnoop fruit, which I like that name.
Fruit.
Yeah. Would you like to come? But Andy's like, no, I'm very busy.
These are the grapes.
These are the grapes. Remember, Mariner's in jail for like the last 2 months or whatever it's been. So like it's just been these two.
Getting thrown back in. Like.
Yeah. But they're not. I mean, we
we
see all this stuff
the first time yet. Everything
that T'Lyn has grown, just adding to Tendi's. I can't compete with those melons. A little double entendre, implied here. So anyway, so Tendi ends up pushing T'Lyn away, and I think does Tendi eventually become kind of incensed with Data here as she's becoming more and more like unhinged with her dedication to defeating T'Lyn in competition.
She's pulling a Jesse Spano and getting a bit too excited.
Good reference there, yeah. Like Saved by the Bell, Jesse Spano, yeah. As T'Lyn comes to the market with her massive carrots and different produce, of course, Snell checking out, and then Mariner at the same time is just getting out of jail. Snell's right there to sneak up on her, but she's quite the wise to it. Whatever, Snell, we know it's you.
I like when she just beats him with the broom. It's just like, get out of here, Snell. Like, we're sick of your shit.
Yeah, exactly. So Mariner
right
carrots? Back at it. I know. Like, I don't think
those colored carrots this year. They were delicious.
The purple ones, or the
carrots or parsnips?
I grew purple. I grew yellow carrots. No, those are yellow carrots. Very delicious.
Well, did you ever get them that big?
No.
Only pumpkins.
Yeah, well, I grew a 230-pound squash once.
There you go. So Mariner's back on her kick that she's going to try to do something to become a hero. I don't know. I'm confused mostly about what she's after in this plot line. But
would you guys like to consult my expertise in oversized produce?
Sure. Can you put out a fire with one?
Yeah, just cover it in fruit. Fruit doesn't burn very well.
There you go. But apparently this was the eternal flame to keep away witches or something in this society. Demons.
Yes. How are they supposed to keep away the dark spirits now?
Oh, you don't need to worry about that.
Snell calls Data a hornless demon. Like, I guess they're demon.
They have a hornless demon head in their bag.
So good.
So Mariner goes right back to the slammer, again, and more of the same here with Boimler and Rutherford still trying to get the console going. Now we're up to 10 months that they've been down on this planet. You can see all more and more of that growth behind, from T'Lyn, that she's set up some, I guess, are those greenhouses if they're not fully enclosed? But
oh, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's in their summer, you don't want, if you could take the sides off a greenhouse in the summer, that's a slick setup she's got there. Actually, I quite like it. And then you can make it a shade house if you want to. I like her setup. Yeah.
Folks, Davan will be leaving us for a couple of months to build a windmill and a water wheel.
Well, we're starting chickens in the spring. We're gonna start doing chickens.
That's an adventure. We had them when I was a kid. That's an adventure.
Yeah, yeah.
you eat eggs, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're egg chickens.
Egg chickens.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna.
Sam was asking what a
Oh, you guys
pescatarian
saying hi
is.
to her, so
It's
I've
a person
unplugged my
from
headphones.
Pescatar.
It's a fish. It's a fish. Hi, Ursula. Hello. Did you fall
Okay,
asleep working on your calculations like Tendi? Are you drooling?
Oh, she's drooling. She's a drool fat.
Well, she has that in common with Miss Tendi here.
You look just like Tandy there, honey. Except you're hornless.
Yeah.
Clip that. Save it for her wedding.
Just like you.
Yeah. We see
That
here
looked
that
like you 10 minutes ago.
Tendi goes to town with Data's head. Do you think I should be bringing you? You should bring my head through here. Well, she didn't want to leave him
Carrying me in a
behind.
satchel. He's like, it's quite like.
Yeah, for Snell to find him there or whatever. So he's moving along. We hear that T'Lyn has now started up a beauty product line with using
What's
her
sign
natural
say there?
botanicals.
Something for a globber.
Oh, I'd buy that for a globber.
Maybe two for a globber, maybe. Who knows?
Two for a globber. So she shows off. She figured out how to make the natural. What did she say in this? I found a way.
It's a hair tonic based on the skin of the snoop.
It's the snoop fruit. I've discovered a natural filament enhancer. She says, and so she's So
it does give them all luscious hair, though. Holy crap!
Oh yeah.
I do not believe that giving them bounce and curls violates the Prime Directive.
Yeah.
Popping off.
Yeah, Tendi just getting more jealous and bitter. We see
Bags under her eyes because she doesn't sleep anymore.
That Christopher Pike would love to visit this planet and get his hand on some of this product because that is a man that
He doesn't need it.
He's naturally got the
He'd
condition.
go down there and they'd name him king. It'd be like, you don't have horns, but damn.
But damn,
Distrom didn't keep his body; they just kept his scalp.
Exactly. They're all very impressed. And then T'Lyn's like, we are now rich as well. Just
She's so great.
Tendi just getting a little bit more and more, over the edge as she's going here. What is Rutherford and Boimler doing here? They finally got the console clean enough that they can push a button. So
is this tomato juice or something?
Yeah, tomato juice.
Tomato juice. What did I say? Tomato juice. Hold on, I think I still have it open. Tomato juice,
shrimp,
beer, clamato juice, Maggi seasoning, Worcestershire sauce, and hot sauce. So it's a Caesar but with beer.
It's pronounced Worcestershire.
Worcestershire, not Worcestershire sauce.
No. Worcestershire.
Sauce.
Is it Shire or Sheer?
Sure.
So finally, Rutherford and Boimler are able to, get the pendant activated, so that at least T'Lyn knows that they're getting ready to be beamed out here.
Is that real, Murphy?
It is.
What? I didn't notice that. George has been on my show twice, and I didn't pick up on that.
George Buza of
What?
X-Men the animated series, Maniac Mansion, and
I watched
other.
this episode twice.
He
Yeah.
was the bartender
I'm
in one
slipping.
of the X-Men movies, wasn't he too?
He's a truck driver.
No,
Am I
he was the
imagining that?
trucker
Oh,
that
truck
dropped
driver.
Rogue off in
That's what
Alaska.
it was. Yeah, truck driver.
His line is, "This is Laughlin City."
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's his only line, I believe.
Yeah.
In the movie. So Tendi turns off Data's head. Then we see here that Snell has just revealed to be voiced by George Buza.
Which makes him an even more legendary character now. I'm all about Snell.
Yeah,
I love
Buza
this
now a part of the Star Trek alumni as well.
Geez, we can have him on another show. We'll talk to him a third time.
That would be amazing.
Can he
so,
lurk in the background of all of the episodes?
right. Of
Go,
course, he did
go
the
check our
voice
episodes
of,
with George Buza over there on X-Rated. It's funny. He tells a story about like sneaking up into the rafters of the set of Maniac Mansion and like picking people off with like a slingshot and peas and shit.
Well,
'Cause
maybe
he's trying
that's
to
why
get
he's in the
character.
rafters here.
Hilarious.
They've maybe worked that into the story here. Because George Buza, he's originally American, but then he's basically become a Canadian now because he's been in Canada for so many
Oh,
years.
he is Canadian now. Yeah, we talked to him about that too.
Born in Ohio, wasn't he?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
He was getting work up here, and he's just like, yeah, might as well stay here.
Yeah. Well, we welcome him. So
Yeah,
Tendi,
great Canadian now.
So we see here that Snell he knocks out Talin here with a stick, and then so cartoonish evil ends up eventually tying them all up railroad style here, like he's put them on the tracks. He's going to get them now. Their demon head you have.
I'm gonna have to make an X point about this on Tuesday with this
Their
George
hornless
Buza
demon
appearance.
head.
Jeez.
Very cool. I didn't. Well, that's our first fun fact of the evening.
Yeah, it's great. I can't get
and then
over it.
as Snell's going to get like the town people here, they're like, "Hey, would you like to see us juggle again?" He's like, you juggling," and then he's like, "No, I know your juggling trick. I'm not going to fall for that again."
I'm on to you and your algorithmic tossing.
So then there's
I
a
do love,
conversation.
we're way past that, but when he first finds them in that pit, it's like we're looking for globbers down here, and he's just like, in a pit? She's just like, yeah, we didn't find any, so that was dumb, I guess. This is such a Mariner thing. It's so
Yeah.
funny.
In a
Like,
pit,
why
you're
don't
looking for
Starfleet
robbers?
officers play dumb more often? They always try to think of some smart reason why they're everywhere, but just play dumb.
Just say, "Hey, we had a bad idea. Thanks for pointing it out."
Exactly.
Now we see here that Tendi and Talin have a conversation that kind of indicates, like where Tendi's like, "I've been trying to compete with you. I thought you were competing with me." And Talin says, "No, I tend to withdraw my name for consideration for the science officer position. I'm not ready to lead yet. You chose to join Starfleet. I was exiled here for being too much of a rebel and a maniac or whatever."
Popping off.
Which is clearly on display in this episode.
Oh yeah. She's off the chain, as we said.
What are they? Sort of like other Vulcan officer calls her like unhinged or something. It was pretty hilarious. in that
Calm
person.
down. We will not
Calm down.
take any more of your outbursts, Talin.
It reminds me of Spock and the other Vulcan arguing when he comes back to the table and he's like, "I'm sorry you had to see that."
Oh, that was
If-
great. That's one of my favorite scenes.
Their plan here to get out is to get Data's head to chew through the ropes. He's like, "I saw
Apparently
Worf
Worf
do
has
this
done
once."
So Worf do this before. No, it's like, I'm sorry, my father's friend there truly brings out the worst in me, Spots. Did you see me stand up somewhat abruptly? I may never live it down.
Back in jail, Mariner's trying to play her soap flute or something.
Yeah, so
And,
flute. She's playing it backwards there.
Right. She's made her friends here in the jail. They've accepted. She's like, I haven't made a friend. Yeah, you've made friends with us, but a couple of us are murderers. And she's like, well, I wish I didn't
Definitely
know
those
that.
two on the left.
Yeah.
I think they call her Big Mare too.
Yeah, she's Big Mare. Yeah, but apparently they're able to kind of bail her out with or bribe her, Mariner out here as they are now free from their bindings. I guess they bribed him with hair product, and you can see you can appreciate
good.
some good product here. He's loving the hair. Everyone's bye, Mariner. We'll miss you.
My friends get out too. She's like,
no, I tried. Sorry, guys. The transporter sequence initiates back on the Cerritos, and meanwhile, down here in the village, I think they get confronted by Snell and the mob of the villagers, where Snell's like, they have
luscious.
Yeah, they all have hair. Luscious hair now, or most of them at least.
Except for Snell.
Yeah, he's not buying the product. He's too suspicious. Lurking everywhere. So they say, let's see what's that head that's inside your satchel. And then it comes out, but it's just one of these grapes with like a face drawn on it. And they laugh at Snell. They laugh him out of the square. Ha ha ha, Snell, you're so gullible. Got us thinking that this
Buddy,
is real.
that's like, look, Snell, everyone knows you lurk around everywhere.
I love when he gets chided for the lurking.
Oh, yeah.
Snell.
Good point. When Data was chewing through the ropes, wow, you are fully functional. Yeah,
that killed me.
Yeah.
I just want to watch Worf chew through some ropes.
Well, maybe one day. Maybe
One
we'll
day.
get that. So they go off their way. Snell not giving up the fight, though.
You know what else can chew through ropes?
You better get her to get her some ropes. Yeah. For that
Get the
teething.
teepees coming in, chewing through all the ropes.
Oh yeah, and so there's that whole moment there where Mariner's like, he's like, I am Lieutenant Commander Data. And she's like, oh, I know who you are. You're famous.
She's a huge Data stan.
Yeah.
She's like, this is everything I wanted it to be, which means her like dream Data interaction was him being just ahead, and her being trapped on a planet for a year, and him being purple.
A whole year, yeah, it's such a long time. Like there was that one time that Tom Paris and Tuvok and the Doctor kind of got like stuck in a time dilation kind of thing for it wasn't like a year, but it was like 6 months or something they spent on a planet.
Is that
and
dilated?
There's the episode with Daniel Day Kim, which I can't remember, and there's the other one with what's her name from A League of Their Own, the sister, Gina Davis' sister from A League of Their Own.
That wasn't a time dilation. They were just trapped there.
It wasn't a time dilation. Oh,
No.
I thought it was.
Were they just stuck
No,
there?
they were just stuck there. That was basics. No,
Basics.
it wasn't basics.
No,
I know
Basics
the
is the
episode you're
two
talking about with Lori Petty. It was a great
Lori
episode.
Petty. That's it.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a time thing. That was just
No, that wasn't a time. They were just stranded, and Voyager came back for them.
Gotcha.
I would much rather get stuck on a time-dilated planet than I would getting stuck in one of those mind prisons that Chief got stuck in DS9. I just finished rewatching that episode.
We got our final
When I
little
watch-
Snell
when I
shows up
watch-
right here. Sorry, what?
When I watch Lower Decks, I like to put myself in the writer's room when they're coming up with these episodes. And like this one, they're just like, hey, we should take Dilated, Carbon Creek, and
Time Zero.
No, not Time Zero. The Picard flute one.
Inner Light.
Inner Light. And make that an episode. Let's just take those 3 episodes. We're gonna
We'll reference
and the one where they have to dress up in the makeup. Riker, and he gets stranded down there. And,
Yes.
So just the episode with Lori Petty is called Gravity. It's
Gravity.
A Voyager shuttle crashes on a deserted planet with a temporarily distorted area of space, stranding Tom Paris, Tuvok, and the Doctor.
it is temporally distorted?
Yeah. So because for them it's like a while they're on that planet, but for the rest of Voyager it's not. It's not quite as much as this. It's not like a year, but it's more than a day or whatever. Anyway, so Snell shows up here just in time to go maybe not just in time as they get beamed away and beamed up here with Boimler and all the rest of them. They're finally back. T'Lyn already giving them the eyes, and then Tandy just gets all angry with them right away. What the hell, Boimler?
Do you think this is the first time Boimler's seen somebody with the same color hair as him?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, he's like, oh, maybe I need purple skin now too. Yeah, could be. Because even Boimler's facial hair is purple. So I don't know.
I always thought he dyed it, but now we know. He's
Now we
just
know.
a purple hair guy. Now we need an explanation. Unless
Maybe
he's
he's
dyeing his facial hair, but no, that makes no sense.
Or
Even
maybe
the
he's got
sun.
like an alien in his family line who's.
That's what I want to know. I think we're gonna get an explanation sometime. Well, now this show's canceled, but we would have.
Well, maybe.
Maybe the
It's-
comics. There's
Maybe the
always
comics.
the comics.
Yes.
Always the comics.
Good old comics. Got mine right here. Get your Lower Decks #1.
There's this kind of this final scene here with Data's purple head and Captain Freeman, where she's like, I don't know who to pick for the science officer position. He was like, I would like to make a recommendation. And so we go over to the mess hall here, where they're getting drinks, and Tendi and Talin come to give the news on who the new science officer is. It's both of them. They're co-science officers. Everybody.
Interesting.
Interesting choice.
So it's like whoever's on duty, I guess.
I guess,
And
yeah, they're like
never be working the same shift.
they're co-chairs. So
They're Telendi now.
Telendi. We'll see how this works out. Well, I guess we only have 4 episodes to see how that plays out. But I guess they can make it work. Need more than one here, and then they have a final toast here where they say, "You owe us one, Rutherford," and they're Boy and Blair for stranding us on that planet for a year.
I mean, they're both kind of unqualified to be the chief science officer. To be honest, one
Right,
just
well,
got promoted from ensign, and the other one's just got banished to Starfleet.
Right.
What just happened on the Cerritos?
Talin's more qualified because Tendi was down the medical stream before she went into science. So, but anyway, yeah, they're both a little bit sort of green for the position. I agree. In different.
I see
ways
what you
here.
did there.
Well, I didn't intend that actually, but thank you.
You didn't intend that. You just stop with your puns, sir.
Oh, it's a very punny
had
time
enough.
here.
Right.
So we're left on the episode as Mariner gets out her soap flute and starts trying to play it to not so much, not great reviews here from the team.
Oh, that's an interesting theory from Murphy.
Oh, because he's from a
from the
raisin
Purple
farm?
Yeah, he's purple, a lot of raisins.
Well,
a California raisin.
Because it's just a grape farm, right? So it's...
Well, in some places they turn the grapes into raisins and then make wine from it.
Raisin wine?
Yeah, they do it here in Nova Scotia.
Oh, wow. It's like a prune... That's like a prune juice alcoholic version, I guess.
That's a warrior's drink.
It is a warrior's drink.
It is a warrior's drink.
We see here that Data's head ends up getting shipped into a little bit of a torpedo casing to end the episode as it gets shot out of the Cerritos and into the dimensional rift here, and that is the end of the episode. There's that dude that turned silver from drinking silver.
Yes.
Or turned blue.
Don't drink too much colloidal silver, plugs.
I like
Well,
Data's description of Time Zero too. It's like myself, Captain Picard, and a guy in a silver jumpsuit.
For some reason.
Because we never got that guy's name, so it's like they didn't want to make one up, so they're like, he's just a nameless character. So
Yeah, it's just one of those outpost scientists, but he's on Earth, so he's not at an
Yeah.
outpost. He's just an Earth scientist. But yeah.
it's even worse.
So that's the episode summary in terms of what happened in the episode. What else can we tell you about this episode? It was directed by Megan Lloyd. It was written by Andrew Mueth, who I don't believe has written an episode before this. So it was the first one for him. So yeah, is there any other trivia or Easter eggs, Justin?
I have a bunch here for you.
Okay, hit us
Start
up.
right from the beginning, and we already talked about some of these. Fully dilated being a time dilation joke, and also a reference apparently to that Voyager episode. The purple D, obviously a reference to the eggplant emoji. And the purple Enterprise is a reference to the purple Enterprise that came with the Q figure from Playmates back in the original TNG when that was on.
The purple D is an eggplant reference. I get it now.
We got the Taquito Night with the dancing and the singing, the Bones reference with "I'm not a doctor," or "I'm a doctor, not whatever the f this is." We got the Micheladas, which are apparently Bloody Marys with a beer, not Caesars. I apologize.
Okay.
The skewers
Sounds
being an
gross.
example of Chekhov's phaser. Abandoned farmhouse with the crater and the shuttle and everything being that weird purple. That whole B plot is actually a reference to The Color Out of Space, classic horror sci-fi by H.P. Lovecraft. It also ties into the giant fruits and vegetables, which are also a plot point during Color Out of Space as well. T'Lyn, when Snell is questioning them, says they're from the northern region, which is a nod to the most recent episode of Star Trek Radio Theater that both of you performed very wonderfully in.
Yes. Right. We're from the north. That's why we have southern accents.
But also, like, the Romulan thing, too. Whenever they just want to explain something away in Star Trek now, they're like, yeah, north.
The north. Yeah, that's why they have those ridges.
Yeah, the north.
So juggling that T'Lyn does. Juggling has a long history in Star Trek. We have the juggler from Legion 2 at Tosh's banquet from... which... Is that... No, The Cost of Living is the other one. The Cost of Living with the Hollow Juggler with Troy or Mrs. Lwaxana Troy and Alexander when they go to the holodeck. We have jugglers again at the Bajoran Gratitude Festival, and let's not forget Ensign Baytart, who was featured on briefings with Neelix on Voyager Investigations. We get the Inner Light episodes reference from Mariner. We get Tendi patting her resume more than a Romulan shoulder pads. We get Tendi hooking Data up to a homemade device, which is another Time's Arrow reference. And then Tendi turns the crank and powers him on for a Frankenstein reference. She just missed the he's alive when he opens his eyes. Of course, Brent Spiner being the guest star. Best piece of trivia from this whole episode. Followed very closely.
Booza.
Followed very closely for me by Booza. Data tells Tendi not to worry about his body because he's been ahead before. The third Time's Arrow reference. Tendi mines Data for Data, actually. And it's clearly a witch setting up the witch hunt when we get the moment of Snell lurking like a lurker out there.
There was also the episode Disaster where Data gets his head taken off, by Riker as they're trying to get to the bridge and everything.
When he's just the head at that point too. The line giant melons, I can't compete with that from Tendi. Not really an Easter egg, but had me rolling. Yeah. The Edo are referenced by Mariner when she's released from jail.
This is some Edo-esque stuff here.
Oh, yeah, I didn't check.
Purple Data references his struggles with tech in San Francisco for our fourth Time's Arrow reference. Snell thinks they're witches, and as Davan pointed out, that Purple Data is a hornless demon. Then we get the Worf chewing through ropes, and then Murphy's favorite, wow, you really are fully functional, from Tendi. Mariner playing the flute in her cell, the Inner Light reference. Mariner being a total Data stan, which honestly, who isn't? Data says he has to get back to Geordi because Geordi is his best friend, just underscoring that relationship in
his science TNG. Bestie, as Rutherford describes it.
Mariner, I'd go back for Geordi too.
Right? I'd go back for Geordi too. Purple Data says that neutral gray Enterprise seems like a missed opportunity where purple is an option, which I think is again calling out why didn't they just make Q's accessories gray so the Enterprise looked moderately correct for that figure
instead of the purple.
Weird with the accessories
instead of the purple.
Look at this.
Oh, I know. Oh. I've got a Ziploc bag full of the accessories somewhere.
For Odo, everything's really orange.
Yeah, at least they put those stickers like on the top.
Yeah,
of
but like his
console.
golden slime bucket is bright orange.
Is bright orange. All of the weapons.
It's like a pylon.
For Worf's mate were bright blue, if I remember correctly. And her hand gauntlet thing that came with the...
I have a Ducat figure here, too, and all his accessories are teal for no reason.
Yeah, bizarre choices, blue. But Playmates... I think they just made them because they're so small. They tried to make them bright colors so you could see them on the floor.
So you wouldn't choke on them.
That's,
They didn't care if kids choked on shit back then.
They cared about liability.
That's true.
They're saying that this is the fourth TV appearance as Data, because of course there's Next Gen, and there's Enterprise, and there's this. But what's the fourth? He was never on Deep Space. Yeah, he was never on D Space.
He's in Picard.
Oh, and Picard. That's it, of course.
Picard, yeah, right.
He was great in Enterprise. I loved him as Aronson or whatever his name is. Eric.
As Eric Soon. And then there's that terrible finale where he actually does play Data, audio only.
Man, the Soon family genetics are strong.
They're very strong.
Right. Where you can be distantly related and you still look like Brent Spiner no matter what.
Hundreds of years later.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, Justin, if that's all of our fun facts,
that is everything I've got.
Let's score this episode and roll it down. It was okay for me. Like, it wasn't my favorite of the season. So like, I think I'm in the 7s this week. It wasn't my favorite, but I think it's a bad episode by any means. So I think I'll give it 7.5. Justin?
So you think it's the worst of the season? That's your lowest rating of the season.
I guess.
No, Caves was last season.
Caves I gave about the same score. Yeah. And that was Yeah. I don't know.
I'd give this one an 11 if I could. So I'm going to go for a 9.5. I'm not ready to hand out my 10 just yet. I might come back and edit this one to the 10 when we're finished. But I mean, anything with Brent Spiner in it, it was a 10. Right from as soon as they found that purple Data's head, it was already a 10. They could have done nothing the rest of the episode and just showed reruns of the opening of Enterprise, the theme, and I would still give it a 10 because Brent Spiner.
Cool. And Davan?
Well, I, sir, am a man of conviction. 10.
All right.
I got gardening. I got lots of Tallinn. I was giving it a 10 before I knew that was George Booza. I could go 11 now, too. But I'll leave it at 10. I'll leave it at 10. That's great stuff. I loved this episode. I watched it twice, and I'm like, this is great. I don't know why. Yeah. It's just like, it was an nice, easy watch. I was just like, this is a great episode.
I liked it, but I wouldn't say I loved it, but I think there's nothing wrong with I don't have any like problems with it per se. It's just like, maybe it was I think it was the Mariner storyline in particular I was less invested in. We got 10 here from Murphy, so okay.
Murphy watched the last episode of 10 too.
Both of them? Okay. All right, bringing up those scores. So
I was the only one that didn't feel great about that last one, apparently.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's that. So, okay, we're averaging a 9.3. This has an 8.2 on IMDb, which is higher than almost anything else we've seen this season.
This is a great episode.
You know what, Dave?
Go back and watch it again, Dave. You'll see.
I'm going to get you to bump mine up to 10, too. I don't think they're going to do any better than this. I don't think they're going to do any better. For me, Brent, I can't think of anything that's going to top a Brent Spiner appearance for me.
Decimals are folly.
I'm glad you guys liked the episode. I will watch it again, and I'll consider raising my score. But based on how I just feel at this hour, I'm going to keep that where it's at. But I will reconsider. So that is the fully dilated. Very high scores for most of the panel, and a moderate, sort of a B+ for me. And what's the next episode? Let's have a look. It's called Upper Decks.
Ooh.
So
this is gonna be the slow march to the end, where they all start to acknowledge they're not lower decks anymore, and they're gonna bring the series to a conclusion.
Or
could
we're
it just
going
be
to
beginning of the end?
Toilets finally.
Maybe
it could just be an episode about the senior officers more specifically, and we it's a reverse of the original TNG Lower Decks episode.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
right?
It would be fun. Yeah.
And so Mariner and all these characters are sort of like on the outside, and we don't really know what's going on with them. But we know what's going on with the senior officers. I think that could be fun.
The lower deckers are going to hand out demotions to the upper deckers.
It's going to be a mutiny. They're going to stage a coup.
It all makes sense now.
Right. Well, hey, only 2. Wait, was it 3 more? 3 more after this.
Not enough more.
3 more.
Not enough. And we still have to wait until the winter, I think, for Strange New Worlds. So, although I keep hearing different things about when that's officially going to come out, but we got to enjoy them for what they are and when they come out here. So, thanks for being with us, everybody, for another review of Star Trek Lower Decks. We'll be back to talk about the next one. What else we got going on? We just did a Star Trek Radio Theater, as we've mentioned here. We did North Star last Sunday, or this past Sunday. That was a lot of fun. Davan was McCready and many other characters. You were like the man of many voices. Yeah, you were Phlox and many voices. I was Captain Archer.
Archer was great.
Go listen to that. Do we have a Science Division Sunday this week?
Trivia. You're there.
Am I? Okay. I'm on. Is it Sunday?
You, me, and Adam. Enterprise Trivia.
Sunday?
Yep.
Okay.
Sunday.
Well, I guess I'm going to be there. I don't think I have anything going on. And then on Monday, we'll be talking about our next installment of the Orville. It's called Sanctuary. Pretty good episode, as I recall, but haven't watched it in about 6 years. So we'll be looking at that. And I think that's all of our updates, unless I've missed anything, guys. Of course, you can check out everything in the United Federation of Podcasts, including X-Rated, the X-Men Animated Review Show. We got, of course, Trivial Debates.
In a couple weeks, we got a director's chat coming with 2 of the directors of X-Men Evolution. That'll be fun.
How are you enjoying that X-Men Evolution?
Well, we talked about it on the last episode. We kind of miss the other show. We kind of missed TAS a bit, but like everyone tells me Evolution gets better. I only watched the first season when it came out, so
that's all I've seen better. Too. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really watched it either. So, but
we'll see. It's not bad. It's just directed for a different audience, like
right.
And I think that's why I didn't give it a huge chance because it wasn't, geared to my Saturday mornings.
Because we were too old for Saturday mornings when it came out in the 2000s.
Exactly. Okay. Well, and then, of course, we just did a Trivial Debates, me and Justin and Jaemeel, and I don't remember what his real name was, but Shizumi was our host.
Mike Henry.
I believe.
Mike Henry, that's it. Yeah. Go listen to that. That was a lot of fun, or watch it.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And
Murphy tricked Rico to
yeah, he got Casper Van Dien to say Trivial Debates somehow. So we could throw that into a commercial now or something.
That was awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well,
such a Murphy move. I'm like, oh, you got him on the show? It's like, no, wait, no, this is way more Murphy. Murphy just trolled him into saying shit online or something.
Casper is very responsive to his Twitch chat, is what I've been told. So thank you to Casper Van Dien for that.
Absolutely.
And another shout out to Mike Booza. You are amazing.
George
Booza?
George Booza, right. Yeah. I'm reading 3 pages of different notes in front of me.
Mike.
I'll send you the links to our talks with George Booza.
Yeah, because I'd say that Beast is my favorite character from the animated series, and I think that's a big part because of his voice work on that character. So,
that's great.
Oh yeah.
Well, with all that said, we'll play. I got 2 clips here. Let's start with this one.
I'm Lieutenant Commander Data. Who are you?
Oh, hi. I'm Lieutenant Junior Grade Tendi. It is so nice to meet you.
By boiling the skin of the schnoop fruit, I have discovered a natural protein filament enhancer.
And we'll see you next time, everyone. Live long and podcast. Schnoop fruit.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. Tune in to X-Rated, the X-Men Animated Review Show. Artistic interviews with graphic histories. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And while you're at it, spin a few records with Eamon on Track. Watch us duke it out on Trivial Debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.